A good time.
So the second topic we have for you guys tonight is one that's more near and dear to my heart. So it's kind of about what's gambling going to look like for our generation, and specifically, how's esports going to play into it? Are we going to like our slot machines are going to still be there, and a lot of this is, I work in Las Vegas, I work in the industry. We just had a convention out here, and like I guess a lot of the slot machines that they're kind of demoing now are like the House of Cards slot machine, which is just a slot machine themed with House of Cards, and very standard gameplay. But one of the other things that we kind of introduced was you can do like semi-skilled games now. So there's like a Guitar Hero slot machine. Um, but the weird part is like it's not just you play Guitar Hero. It's you play a slot machine, and then once you get into bonus, you play Guitar Hero. But apparently, the way the regulations work out, you can play it, but however well you do does not affect the outcome of that. like at the beginning, they figure out how much they're going to give you, and like if you do shitty, they just make the rest up in bonus. If you do really well, you feel like you did really well. It's weird, but so I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? I mean, obviously, you probably don't gamble a ton when you don't live in Vegas, but like, what do you think gambling is going to look like? Are people going to be pulling slots, or it's going to be something different?
I mean, I play table games and I play the roulette. I go to a casino once a year. It's my annual casino going to event where I either waste a set amount of money or make a set amount of money. It's all good. I think there will be standbys that'll continue to be played. I think the card games are probably always going to be around because people enjoy a good game of poker or blackjack, or there's some people who, I don't know, are crazy and they like craps, because I don't know how the hell that game works. You throw things, you put things on numbers. It's all Greek to me.
So what I've been told is how certain games work in the psychology of people is how slow your burn rate is. So you play craps, you get free drinks, you know there's friends there, but like in the grand scheme of things, you lose very little money if you don't want to lose the money.
Right. I also like the roulette, which is an easy way to lose a lot of money really quickly.
You get to play a lot of bets. That's great.
Yeah, that's how it works. No, I've done very well in the roulette, a game where I have no skills. It's all about physics, a class I didn't take twice. Avoided it two times in my life. But going back to what you said, it's very interesting. Esports, is there any esports gambling regulation? Or is it still the Wild West?
So it's interesting because, like, I think it's probably a little bit of the Wild West. I think probably sports books aren't taking the action yet because it's too hard to like handicap and to see how many people are taking the other side of the bet. But I don't know. Like, so my entire thing with esports betting, because I think they probably do exist to some level, is it too easy to cheat? Because like, let me put it another way. When you look at regular sports betting, right, there's just not necessarily enough money on the table to like really want you to rig it. Obviously, like boxing is a prime example of fights possibly getting fixed, but like you can't fix the outcome of a football game that easily. Like, what do you like? Pay the kicker to not kick in point afters? Like,
there's a documentary called The Longest Yard I'd like you to watch. And it talks all about this. I think you'll learn a little bit something.
But I mean, I feel like the problem with esports is that it is because esports doesn't pay enough already. Like it would just be rampant for people to like bet on the other side with their friends and then just like take a dive. I think it's way too easy to do that. I mean, what do you guys think? Like,
I would say that, except for you have things like the international and stuff where it's like the team is going to get $1 million each if they win. So it's like it's a lot of money. There's a lot of money going around right now in like League of Legends and Dota and stuff, and it's insane how much and how popular those games are.
I mean, would you guys bet on that? Like,
I wouldn't because I have no following and I don't understand the games.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm gonna stick to my gambling on physics.
Yeah.
My gambling on physics. No, I had an interesting idea for a slot machine, and I think this would do really well. The Netflix slot machine.
All
Literally,
right.
just you play slots and you watch Netflix.
I'm in. I think that's
I
great.
I feel like people would love it.
And the more that you bet, the better the catalog gets. So if you want to watch something really great, you have to plunk down an extra few bucks.
Yeah, someone was talking to me about. I guess there was an Onion article where they were like, Netflix introduces the browse only account. You would pay, and all you could do is browse the account.
They're raising their rate by $1 on
Yeah,
from
and-
$8.99 to $9.99. I'm just saying. I'm making a conversation here.
Yes. They
It's 12
are,
less
and-
dollars to gamble with. Am I right?
Well, no, because you could just cancel your subscription and play on the Netflix machine here.
It's good.
Netflix
It's a
and
solid decision.
No, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be affected by it. A, because someone else pays for my Netflix subscription, and also I'm on the higher tier anyway.
After I gamble psychologically, then anytime like the next thing that I do where I pay money and I get the right service and change back, I feel like I won. I'm like, I won the burger thing.
So here's my thing with gambling, and I never really thought about this until I became part of the industry and was talking to people and people were teaching me how to play, and I think there's this concept, and I don't know if it's lost on most people, that you're paying for entertainment.
Oh,
Like
sure.
you're paying for some level of drinks, but you're also paying for entertainment. And I think if the majority of America believed that gambling was a form of paid entertainment, like, I would be rich because my company would do much better. But I mean, do you think that's ever going to get to a point for people? Because I mean, let's look at people watching people stream on Twitch and paying people for that. That's paying for entertainment. Like, would you ever get to that point with something else?
Well, as far as where gambling is gonna go or esports and stuff, I feel like we're already starting to see that with things like fantasy football. That could definitely is gonna keep growing, I think, and it's a more interactive version of like gambling. And that could easily stretch over into what we were talking about before with like esports. Instead of like betting on a match specifically, you pick up players and you gather how well they're doing in order to play against people for money.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. That's genius.
Have either of you been following the lawsuits that are coming out right now?
Oh, yes.
No.
Because of the insider trading stuff and also, yeah.
Yeah, so for
Explain
Mike's
it to me.
benefit and everyone else, essentially what the two big players in the market are FanDuel and DraftKings. And apparently what people were doing was like people from DraftKings would pull all of the data they have on how people are betting on their system and use it to inform bets on FanDuel. And I think probably vice versa. And I guess they were having like a fair amount of success because if you look at some of these, especially considering the randomness of football, it was gambling.
Yeah.
Like, it really was gambling. You make a couple of picks, you can probably get someone to give you an educated like guess, but it was just luck. It was luck on whether you won. But it's interesting that I guess it wasn't that much luck if they were able to use the data to inform success. That being said, we should all quit this podcast and build an algorithm to do it externally and make a boatload of cash before the government regulates it.
Yep.
Sure. That's great.
I mean, it's interesting how much money they're plunking into something like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna get regulated soon.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. But that is the direction I see things going as far as like I mean we'll still have slots and we'll have card games and things like that, but I feel like the bulk of gambling is going to end up being things like fantasy football because it engages more people, I think, and it engages an audience that I don't think normally is into sports even. Like I know you you are into sports, but typically people like us aren't. We stick with our games and our comic books and our movies, and then leave sports
It's
alone.
fair. It's fair. I think the only reason I got into The only reason I got into pro football was for fantasy, and the only reason I got into fantasy was like it was almost like a universal male topic to talk about.
Right.
Like if you're at a party and there's just generic male in the corner, like he knows something about football. You just talk to him about football.
That's more or less what interests me about fantasy football in general, but I still don't want to put the time in to learning everything I want to learn to be able to do it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I was sitting at the bar a couple days ago at like Buffalo Wild Wings watching the games, and this guy's like, yeah, like I was playing fantasy last year and I was like second place in both my leagues, and like I made out with like not $1,800, $900 in each league. I'm like, who the fuck? I don't have friends who want to gamble that much money into fantasy football. Like, maybe I do want those people because I did pretty well last year. I'm doing pretty well this year. But I also feel like it's because I play against people who don't care about $20, who might care about $200.
You got to get into like a 40-person league or something.
No, that doesn't work. That's not how fantasy works.
Let me tell you about FanDuel.com. They're picking millionaires every week. That's their like big shtick. Is that you only have to like, oh, there's a DraftKings. Like every week's a new week in the weeks, and you can pick people, and it's all good. Season-long injuries, nobody cares.
That sounds like DraftKings.
It's DraftKings.
I hear those commercials all the time.
They're on podcast. They're a bunch of podcasts I listen to.
You're listening to the wrong podcast here. That being said, maybe we should be maybe we should support DraftKings, and they'll throw some money our way. Yeah. We speak to your target demographic of people who don't care. Like,
yeah, apathy. It's the apathy market.
It's the apathy market. Yeah, I mean, like, so are there any games that you feel like you would watch for like in an esports context?
I do.
That
watch
like aren't
games.
what fighting games?
Yeah, I usually watch Evo every year, and I'll watch some of the little bit lesser championships and stuff.
And if you could take bets on them, would you?
If I had some extra cash lying around, I probably would. And I think I wouldn't do too badly either. And that one would be literally like, who's gonna win, this one or that one. That'd be interesting too, because you get like hundreds of matches a day instead of just like a couple of football games.
That's true. I wonder if you could do it where like you capped it, so like you could only really make money based on the volume and not just like I'm throwing 1,000 people.
It's more of like having a record, like a win rate.
That's fair.
Interesting.
What about you, Brant?
I don't even know.
Mario Maker.
Yeah,
Maker?
yeah. You know what? Sure, Mario Maker. Mario Maker's my best betting tool. It's my only out.
I wonder if
about
you
Mario
could like
Maker.
basically turn stuff like that into racing games. Like,
Oh man, speedrunning,
Yeah.
speedrun competitions. Over under is this going to be the record win?
there you go. There you go.
You can bet on anything, but
Yeah, you can find a way.
All right.
and I do.
He does. All right. Enough of this boring topic as well. See, Brant, it's not you. I pick on myself.
We've talked about books and gambling.
Books and gambling.
Now we're about to talk about something really interesting.
I'm going to create a casino with blackjack and hookers.
Tell them what they won.
Tell them what they want. So, Mike, I think